Hello and welcome to another episode of Shepherd's Tips. This video I'm going to be talking about light tanks. I chose two replays for the T-71 that were consecutive, or I think there was one battle in between. I chose to do replays instead of live action gaming because if I'm recording while I'm playing, it has a very, very big impact on my my ping and my FPS. So I chose to do replays instead. This video, or this replay, was about a week ago. I just haven't gotten around to actually making the video of it. I love the T-71. Right off the bat, this guy starts charging up to the hill. Unfortunately, the Spearpanzer rammed into me. That was kind of dumb of him. Could have gotten us both killed there, but luckily that was the Russian tank, so has no gun depression. Here on Prokhorovka, it's a decent map for scouting. It's a pretty evenly balanced team as far as tanks go anyways. If you're playing as a scout, you kind of want to be what I'm doing. If you're in a higher tier match, you want to run the top ridge line. You want to constantly be spotting people for artillery or for tank destroyers in the distance, or these tanks over here like the ARL that actually has gun depression, unlike that Type 58. Who can poke around and shoot the tanks. Now what I'm going to get here is a few pot shots as the battle goes on if people are going to start ignoring me, because I'm going to be pretty much constantly spotted the entire game. I do not have Sixth Sense in my T-71 yet. It's at like 95%. I'll get it eventually. But I'm going to be pretty much consistently spotted this whole match. And I'm okay with that because they can't hit me over the ridgeline, and where I am right now, I'm going to move in a few seconds because I don't want the artillery to nail me. But other than that, I'm pretty safe as long as I stay on our side of the ridge. Unfortunately, I did have some ricocheting shots on the side of that IS-3. Now, if I was shooting the IS-3 and I wasn't a little bit panicky and I'd slow down to focus a little bit more, then I would have been able to penetrate at least 4 of those shots out of the 6. But unfortunately, I did have a few ricochets. I'm going to go in for the kill on this one. Trying to get a lower plate shot right there. Unfortunately, I didn't. This T-54 pokes over the hill. He's got good armor, but more so on his turret. Give a nice little juke, shoot him in the rear, and start a 18-second reload. Following him around, I do believe he dies before I finish him off myself. But what I want to do here is I want to keep him spotted, but I want to maintain a distance because the artillery is going to be watching him, because he is spotting all of us. And the Type 58 and any other tank up there like the KV-2 or the IS-3s that were up there, in that situation, if they're still alive, they would of course poke over and shoot at me while everyone on my team was preoccupied trying to kill the lightweight or the T-54. So this isn't a very exciting map for scouting, but you get the general idea of it. With this I'm going to be sniping a lot because the T-71 has a pretty accurate autoloader. And it's a good gun. It's a good, solid tank. Very fun for power sliding. And I do a pretty good job of scouting here, if I do say so myself. My role on this map is very, very crucial because I'm keeping people lit almost the entire match and still managing to pop off some shots and get some damage myself. And that will show up in experience earned in the match. So it does help out a lot. Towards the end of the game, like we are right now after that T-54 rushed the hill, it's not as important because we outnumber the team so much we can start pushing without having to worry about it as much. But as it stood a couple of minutes ago, it was very crucial. I'm going to take out this KV-2. He is a big solid gun. Take him out before he shoots me. 1 shot left, reload. Now I'm starting to run low on ammunition. That is the issue with the T-71, is that even though it goes through rounds really quickly, it doesn't actually hold that much ammo. I'm sitting on top of 3 kills, and the M12 is the only tank left on their team. So you can see everyone is rushing in for the kill, including the Spearpanzer, who is somehow miraculously alive with his terrible driving skills. The E-25, the little German cockroach that took boner pills, and me, of course, we're rushing for the kill. Actually, this wasn't a week ago. This battle replay was a few days ago. I remember this battle. I think it was... And I power slide off the cliff. I was hoping I'd slide a little bit more on the cliff there, but I came in too fast. So I was hoping to slide down the side of the mountain, but it just didn't work out for me. But that's okay because they spot the M12. I take him out. This replay was actually about 2 or 3 days ago, if I remember. Seal the M12 for the kill. 4 kills. Go ahead and stop the replay there. Let's look at the screenshots. That is the wrong screenshot. There we go. I got 3,000 experience. Yeah, see, 94% on 6 cents. 3,000 experience. Got good credits. I got Bruiser for taking out a bunch of modules. I got the award for killing 4 or 5 enemy tanks, and I got Fire for Effect and a second mastery badge, which isn't too bad. I've already had an actual mastery badge on the T71, so I'm not that worried about it. I had 2 penetrations on that IS-3, 1 on the T-54, unfortunately, 2 on the M12, and 2 and 3 against several other tanks. Here is where you can see I actually was placed towards the top of the match, having 4 kills and almost 2,000 damage, and I wasn't actually that far behind the M12, who was right above me with just about 120 hit points worth of damage more than me. And then the AMX CDC, of course, being a top tier medium tank and a decent gun, wrecks in a cool 2,500 damage for 1,000 credit, or 1,000 experience. Now here, damage caused with your assistance, 898. Not as high as I would have hoped, but I did damage 7 vehicles out of the 4 that I killed, so I hit 3 more than I killed myself. I didn't spot any of them, unfortunately. The SPIC beat me to the hill, and a few other tanks spotted them before I did, but I did keep them lit. The entire Reddit team right there was taken out pretty quickly after they rushed over the top of the hill. Fired 28 times, missed 6, and penetrated over half of them. 800 of the damage was from a greater distance. That would be against the Leopard and the WZ I was shooting at earlier. I did net 22,000 credits with premium, would have been 10,000 without it. But still, all in all, a good match. So let's go ahead and load up this second one. This second match is on Redshire. I am still in the T71. Go ahead and scope up the team right here. It's a tier 9 match, so obviously I got to be a little bit more careful. I can get two-shotted by a lot of these tanks, or of course tracked and killed relatively quickly. Go ahead and skip through the boringness. A lot of sniper shots in this match. Go ahead and take my position up on the hill because I want to spot the enemies while they're coming up onto the hill themselves. I didn't want to be too aggressive of a spotter here. I wanted to be more of a passive spotter and a sniper tank. I play the T71 a lot as a sniper depending on the situation at hand. In a match like this, of course, I'm not going to be that aggressive of a spotter. I want to be passive and a sniper because I don't want to get killed. There's one hit on the E75 while he's going up top. Take a few shots at the WZ. Unfortunately, they land low. And a little bit of bad aiming on my part. I'll admit it. Send in a reload. KV3 is spotted on the hill. Wasn't spotted by me because I was reloading. I didn't want to be caught out in the open without a clip if I were to get spotted because I do not have 6th sense. Until I get 6th sense, I am going to be playing this tank rather passively compared to being a full-on aggressive spotter tank. I will play the Speerpanzer more like an ELC because in my eyes the Speerpanzer is pretty much the ELC plus an autoloader, thrown up a few tiers into the German line. They play very similar, and I do pretty well in the Speerpanzer playing it like an ELC. This KV3 pokes off, sees me, of course. I asked for assistance on hitting him. I did track him, but I don't want to back out and get hit by him again. 5916 Scout is making a lunge through the field, see if I can get some shots on him. That's 1, and he gets finished off by the 12-ton. Got 3 rounds left in my magazine. There's a AMX 1390 sitting on the other side of the hill, doing the same thing I am, no doubt, except with a 90mm, tier higher. That's okay. A little bit more effective, but my gun's going to be a little bit better for this match just because I can drop more rounds. I'm pretty sure it's more accurate. So The 1390 does get taken out before I do because I do make it to the end of the match. And unfortunately, he makes a bold movement across the map or across the field. That was a bad shot there, and the one before slides right up underneath his gun barrel. Ooh, just barely missed. But there is a Jagdtiger 88 making a dash across the field as well. That's the good part about sitting up on this hill as this tiny tank. It's harder to spot me. I can take plenty of shots against the enemies moving across the entire map. And if there was trouble, I could go and take some pot shots down here and some sniper shots. But they were doing pretty well all across the board. My team to take more of a defensive approach towards our base. Take a few shots on this IS. Have been spotted because I do believe he hits me. Taking my shots at him. Of course, throwing a reload, which was kind of frustrated me because immediately afterwards I noticed the M41 Bulldog drive right down the field. And I could have taken him out with the last two shots I had, but unfortunately I already hit the reload. So battle rages on. The Jagdtiger gets spotted again. I'm not even going to bother shooting at a superstructure with 250 millimeters of armor. Bulldog takes a shot at me. I return the favor, and ooh, he gets away with 4 hit points. It's kind of a shame, but he won't last that much longer, not with 4 hit points. King Tiger is spotted again. There is a T-34 rush going in towards our base. There's a Foch. There's the Tier 9. Jumping across the field, take him out, throwing a reload. E-75 is once again spotted after I fired at him the first time. They're pushing our base on that far side. I got a shot at the top of the Walker Bulldog, and he's gone. Unfortunately, didn't get that shot in time I was reloading. King Tiger is sitting on the other side of that building, and right about here, I'm looking at the score and I'm seeing 8-4. Well, we're outnumbering these guys pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more aggressive. I can take out the King Tiger in 3 shots. The only thing I have to worry about is the T-32 up on the hill or the J-Panther down at their base, but I get the feeling that I could just zip right by the King Tiger, put 3 shots into him, and keep on going towards that J-Panther, find some cover. Put 1 shot into him, it ricochets, second shot hits, penetrates, someone finishes him off. Keep going, E-75 is turned around and started coming back towards base, shoots me in the rear. I'm going to keep driving, auto-aim him, drive away. I know he's got about a 10-12 second reload. I want to get away from him as quickly as possible. I'm going to swivel my butt around, get into the city where he can't hit me. Throwing a reload, I've got 12 rounds left. I'm firing heat now because while I was fighting the E-75, I loaded in heat so that way I could go back and take him out because I knew him, or he and the 32 were going to be some of the last tanks left alive. After the T-32 has a full health bar and E-75 is about half, he is top tier still. They're the only ones I'm worried about. Unfortunately, I don't survive till the end of the match, or till the very end of the match. I do make it till the end, put a few rounds into the back of the E-75, he gets ready to fire back, and I back up. Unfortunately, both rounds went to his gun mantlet. Put 1 into the side of his turret, and just don't want to risk firing 2 heat shells. They're too expensive if I can't see the target. T-32 I know is holding still, and I dropped those 2 shells. Unfortunately, he pulled forward about 10 feet. I missed like 6 heat shells left, 10 APCR and 6 HE. It's towards the end of the match. As I predicted, the E-75 and T-32 are still alive at this point, and I wanted to make a push towards one of them because I don't want to end this match with everyone else getting the damage. I know we're going to win, and to be honest, I'm not that worried about my survivability rate. So I start fighting the T-32. Unfortunately, he snapshots me, takes me out. Artillery, or the Waffenträger finishes him off. I did get 1 shot into him with a heat round, did some damage, got some decent damage this match. E-75 eventually gets encircled and taken out by the rest of the team. He just can't handle being attacked by 4, 5, 6 tanks all at the same time and the artillery. And of course that other E-75 we have sitting on the other side of the map is, you know, I'm sure he's got his gun barrel pointed all the way up into there lobbing HE shells like an artillery piece. And that is the end of the match. Let's look at the screenshots. 2,000 experience, got 29,000 credits. Fire for effect, another bruiser medal, and second place again. Got a lot of sporadic hits across several tanks. Again, I did not get any spotting, but I did get spotting damage. But that is again because I was trying to stay a little bit more conservative and be a sniper, being as how it was a tier 9 match and I didn't want to get taken out, being as how I don't have 6th sense. So I was a little bit more careful. I did get a Confederate for hitting so many people. 2,431 damage, tier 9 match. I still placed in the top 3. Might as well have been a medium tank. I had more damage than anybody on the enemy team, but I wasn't quite there for the rest of our team. The T-54 soaked up the rest of the damage. I did 968 damage with assistance from spotting enemies and letting somebody else finish them off and shoot at them. Unfortunately, I did lose a large amount of credits, but that's because I fired 2 clips of heat shells that are so expensive. But it was worth it because I think that experience is worth more than credits. And as you can see, I have 9.5 million credits at the time of this video, so I'm really not that worried about credits. The most I've ever had is 20 million, actually, in fact, at one point. I did drive 1.59 kilometers, 39 shots, 23 connected, only 16 penetrated, but that's okay because it's not too much expected of me being in a lower tier scout tank. So that's all I have for scouting for right now. I'll release a few more videos. I'll be playing a few more other tanks. I have a 12-ton, I have a 1375, I have a Speer Panzer and a Panzer 1C on top of this T-71. And once I get the T-37 fully upgraded, right now I am rocking it mostly stock. I need to get the turret and the guns for it still. I will start recording with the T-37 as well because it is becoming a very favored Stronghold Tier 6 tank. And for the current Clan Wars map right now, it is a very popular tank for the South America campaign down there with the Tier 6s as well. It is a very good scout. It's basically the Chappie, just remade. Has a powerful gun, good sniper tank, and it's overall a good spotter. It's very maneuverable, but as I say, I will release more videos as it go on, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment, suggestions for other videos, or you can find me in game. My name is up here, Shepherd DJ0602. It's up at the top. I am in a new clan. Send me a message in game, friend me. I've got thousands of messages down at the bottom that are open. I will not ignore you unless you send me hate mail. So go ahead and feel free to do that. Thank you for watching.